Let's start watching tornado videos.
The deadliest tornado since 1947 hit the city of Joplin on the southern western edge of Missouri. The tornado caused $2.8 billion worth of damage, making it the costliest tornado on record. Unfortunately, with all the destruction came a high death toll of 158, making it the 7th most deadly tornado in U.S. history. There were also 8 indirect deaths and over 1,100 injuries. This map, put together by my friend Carson, maps out the general location where these fatalities occurred. Some of these points represent multiple deaths, such as family members or people in commercial settings under one roof. Out of respect to the families, most of the specific names will not be mentioned, making exceptions only for people who are already widely known. This video will also mainly focus on fatalities that occurred in commercial settings. There will, however, be a few brief mentions of more notable residential areas. Also, note that some of these numbers are approximate. Some sources would say this number and other sources would have a slightly different number, but in general, they're pretty close. Also, obviously, this video will not be monetized. That's just not cool. We begin on the western edge. Initially touched down. This pond represents one of the furthest west spots of any of the fatalities, and it is of one of the more well-known victims. Will Norton was an 18-year-old YouTuber who just graduated from Joplin High School.
Tim.
It was in this pond where his body was discovered after
He survived the tornado
crash.
once, but sadly, he did not make it this time.
We come across the 501 Elks Lodge. It was at this location where 4 members of the club had lost their lives. While 4 is 4 too many, if the tornado had arrived only a few hours earlier during a ladies' bingo game, the toll could have been much higher. Fortunately, the lodge is rebuilt, and inside there is a plaque serving as a memorial to the 4 who lost their lives.
That sucks, because that tornado killed a lot of people.
Center, today known as Mercy Hospital. This is where 5 people lost their lives
That
due to
got,
the loss of electricity.
Yeah, obliterated.
The structure was found to be unsafe, so the original hospital had to be demolished. Today, a small parking shelter sat in the place of the original hospital. Many of the residential parts of Joplin were completely leveled, this area being just one example of many. Some chose to rebuild, while other destroyed homes simply turned into empty lots.
Yeah, there is a lot of empty lots.
One of the more notable destroyed residential homes was featured on an episode of Extreme Home Makeover. This was also the location of one of the youngest victims.
I don't think so.
HGTV did a good job of redesigning the house and rebuilding it after the storm. And of course, they put in a storm shelter as well. Further to the south, we see the ruins of the Greenbrier Nursing Home. Here there was a total of 21 fatalities ranging between the ages of 48 and 88, including both residents and employees. These 16 fatalities marked the highest death toll of one single location during the entire event.
Sally, like, yeah. Did this bitch survive? No, you died. This guy hits like a train.
Hey, see if he had anything worth taking. Anything useful?
Imagine I survive this. I doubt I will. Shit, at least I needed some water anyway, so thanks for sending me, asshole.
The remains of this location is an empty lot, serving as a grim reminder of that horrific day in Joplin. Just north of the Greenbrier nursing home sits a small neighborhood, where 4 people were killed by the tornado. The destruction in this area was so bad that no houses were rebuilt, and instead a collection of apartment buildings stand in their place today. About a third of a mile to the east was the location of the El Vaquero Authentic Mexican Restaurant. 2 victims were killed while sitting in their car in the parking lot during the event. El Vaquero was able to rebuild after being closed for over a year and are still in operation today. Arby's across the street, however, had a different outcome, as today it remains an empty lot. Further to the east shows some of the highest levels of residential destruction. The path of destruction was almost a half a mile wide at this point of the event.
That is unbelievable.
One particular intersection of houses was the location of 7 deaths. Looking at the street view from Google, we see a nice shaded area of houses, but after the tornado, all that remains are empty
So many
lots.
people, so many lives lost. 150. That's a lot of people. Wow.
Even after a memorial made to the victims of this intersection, including a butterfly and a plaque that says hope. The butterfly is something that has become somewhat of a symbol after the event. Today the street has transformed into a small cul-de-sac that is connected to the high school.
Oh shit. Holy shit. That guy packs a punch. Even in T60 BOS.
Across the street from the high school was the Harmony Heights Baptist Church, where 3 members had lost their lives. Minutes following the tornado, surrounding neighbors helped Pastor Charlie Burnett and 52 other members out of the rubble. They were able to rebuild and reopen a year and a half later. The fact that only 3 people lost their lives compared to the 56 that were there is sometimes referred to as the miracle of Joplin. Now we move into the more commercial parts of Joplin. While many businesses saw 1 or 2 deaths, Pizza Hut was a location where 4 people had lost their lives. The story of Pizza Hut is a tale of heroism, as many of the survivors claimed they only survived due to the sacrifice of their manager, Christopher Lucas.
And close the
3
door.
employees and 14 customers claimed that Lucas had held the freezer door shut with the use of a strap when suddenly the door flew off and Christopher vanished into the storm. Rescue workers were able to recover his body several hundred yards from the freezer. Pizza Hut would rebuild and would reopen a year after the event. Down the road from Pizza Hut was Home Depot, When panels on the west side of the store fell inward, 7 customers and 1
Dude, that's
employee
where
lost their lives.
that Home Depot
2
was in
others were
that.
also killed in the parking lot.
Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, how damage
Many
done
others
at
actually
Home
survived inside
Depot.
Home Depot only due to the walls collapsing outward rather than inward. I mean, you think about it, like, what do you need during a storm? Or at the, like, what do you need? You need a hardware store, a place with shovels, and a place with wheelbarrows, and a place with bolts so that you can rebuild. And Home Depot, unfortunately, was completely destroyed. So they came in clutch, and they literally, like, within hours, people from Home Depot were there, and within a month, had a secondary tent built that was like a second Home Depot. That's what's over here on the left of the screen. Today at Home Depot, there's a plaque that serves as a little memorial to the victims, as well as some names on some lockers. And as you can see, they did eventually rebuild. In fact, this recent street view shows that they were advertising storm shelters right outside their windows. Finally, to the north, we have Walmart, where customers and employees slowly made their way to the back of the store. One user on Reddit described the event in detail. He said that he and his wife initially treated the approaching storm not very seriously. He said there was about a 10-minute gap between when the employees had warned the customers and when the tornado had actually hit. When the roof started shaking and started coming back, he started to worry for his life. Replying to a comment on this Reddit post, he replied, "I remember looking up at the roof and it
Must have
looked
a
like the
rapid
anchors
or
were
something.
swiveling. It was just buckling and heaving and ripping off, and I was certain a beam was going to come
Yeah,
down on
no
top of
kidding.
me. My ears were popping and the sound."
What's this? I wonder what this is like. Hold on. That's a Star Wars reference.
Hey, move here. Hey. Come on. See if he had anything worth taking. Grab anything useful.
Now look at the pound. Look at the weight of this thing.
Hey, here. Check it out. See if there's anything there.
Yeah, we're gonna get overweighted very quickly.
Hey, see if she had anything.
Was roaring. Women were screaming and little kids were crying, "Mommy, mommy." There was a buzzing like bees of 100+ people chanting prayers and begging Jesus to protect them. Here's a photo he took of the DVD section after the tornado hit.
Instead of doing that, why don't they just seek shelter? Like, better shelter.
After the deaths on Rangeline Road in the commercial area, there were only a few more additional residential deaths. Fortunately, at that point, the tornado lifted. So the reason why I made this video was I wanted to kind of highlight some of the heroes of that day. People like Christopher Lucas, people like Will Norton, and I mean there's hundreds of them, literally all of them. Like anyone who survived, they had to help rebuild, their entire town was destroyed. And I really wanted to highlight that. Anyways, thanks for watching, everybody. I got more videos on the way. I got some of my normal videos where I'm just kind of doing storm damage. And then I also have another video coming up about...
I kind of like the fact I found the location of this thing. I think you can find this at the HQ, which I have not gone to.
What is going on, everyone? So, yeah, last night I was just chilling in my bed, scrolling through on the phone, and I went down a rabbit hole, a bad rabbit hole. I was looking up the oldest tornado footage. I was like, oh, I wonder what the oldest tornado footage is. So I was looking it up, and it turns out that it's some footage from Corn, Oklahoma.
That's actually not a bad gun.
From a place called Corn, Oklahoma, in 1951. So here's the footage from the 1951 Corn.
Scatter. I've not had used one of these in a while. That's a shotgun.
So that was the first footage of a tornado, at least that has been discovered. However, it was footage from a couple of years later that really piqued my
That's
interest.
actually not a bad gun. Never ending, but I can't use it.
Warner Robins, Georgia, specifically the Warner Robins Air Force Base. And by the way, 1953 was a terrible year for tornadoes.
Yeah, F5s.
Waco, Texas. You had Flint, Michigan. Not a good year, but worse than 2011. So here's the footage. Now, viewer discretion is advised. There's some rumors that the person who might have filmed this actually died. So just a little warning if you don't want to see that. But it's really old. It's like black and white, just a long time ago. So I'm watching the footage, and I'm like, oh, it's pretty good, because you can actually see some buildings get destroyed. It looks like the tornado's kind of far away, but it's actually pretty close, because you can kind of see some of the whirlwind, and then you see that wall collapse right in front of it.
There's a card in this place.
Anyways, I'm looking at the comments here, and all the comments are like, yo, this guy died. Yo, rest in peace to the guy who made this film, blah, 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 blah. Vince Rupert died while filming this.
The Warner Robins tornado killed 19 people, including Vince Rupert, the person who shot this film.
And then this other person was like, no, he didn't. They looked into it, and it's not true. The guy didn't die. And then this person was like, yeah, it is true. So immediately, I'm like busting out Google Earth, and I'm like trying to find the location of this tornado footage. If I can find the exact location, and I can look at the damage from around that location, may be able to crack the code on if a supposed Vince Rupert died while filming this tornado. Now, I actually went on to findagrave.com, which I use quite often. It's kind of interesting to look at. And I looked at the Vince Rupert, and I looked up died in 1953. And there's absolutely nothing. That doesn't mean that it didn't happen.
Take that weapon.
So that's the first time I was like, huh. And then I found this newspaper clipping, and it had a whole bunch of names, and Vince Rupert was not one of those names. So, I don't know. The way the camera shakes at the end just makes it seem like he got struck by some debris or something, because he's not just turning it off, he's like shaking big time. So of course I wanted to figure out where this was filmed. So I mean, obviously if you look at the buildings, they look like trailers, they look very recognizable. So I looked through some more comments, and I found this one comment, and it was somehow how her mom remembered this day really well, and it devastated the Ziegler apartments. So, but I did find some photos with the Ziegler apartments on them. So the first photo I found, it says right there, to the north is the Ziegler area. And then I look, and these houses look just like the houses in the video. So immediately I'm like, okay, all right, we're going somewhere. So I look, and I'm trying to figure out this location on Google Earth. And this took forever. I'm looking at the street names here. Was that Cannon Road and and 3rd Street and Giles Avenue, and I'm looking, I can't find, I kind of find them. I find Giles Road, but it's like way far away. And then I realized, wait a second, Martin Luther King Jr. Road. I mean, obviously in 1953, nothing was named after Martin Luther King, so I was like, they probably renamed the road. So then I realized that Cannon Road was actually Martin Luther King Road. Anyways, I was able to look at the map and do some calculations and figure out some distances, and then boom, I actually found the exact area. I went back to like some 1990s aerial footage, and then I saw that the footprint of these houses matched perfectly to the ones in the photo. And then I find yet another photo, actually from the same Pinterest board, and this is an actual close-up of the Warner Robins Ziegler apartments. So you can see they look just like the apartments in the video, and you can see the path right through there. So one particular building that I found pretty interesting was this one right here, because it has the front part missing, just like the in the video when the front part of that building falls over. So I'm thinking maybe he's in front of that building, and if you look in front of that building, clearly that was part of the path of the tornado. Not a good sign. Okay, but let's look at this. Let's look at this footage one more time here. These buildings are pretty close together, and they look like they're parallel. And then this one's pretty close as well, which is pretty interesting. Let's have a look at this photo again. And so I thought maybe it was this building, all right? But look how these ones are angled. They're kind of angled towards this, like they're not parallel. Unlike the video right here where they're parallel. This one is pointed, so maybe it's not this one. And then I came to the conclusion that I think the tornado's actually heading directly towards him. So obviously there's no other building where it just has the front wall broken. So this building must have eventually gotten destroyed. However, if we go back to the video, one thing that you'll find interesting is that towards the very end of the video, right here, obviously we see some major debris literally right in front of him, right? And then if we go over, look at this frame right here. He's obviously in a building, and it looks like it's a brick building. This looks like brick, it's not super white like this over here. It's brick. We have this debris right here, which means it's like literally coming right at him. So, we go back to our photo. So we go back to our photo real quick, and it's a brick building, which means it has to be, let's zoom in here a little bit. It's gotta be
actually really nice. I have such a good view.
Or this one. And considering that there's this huge debris right here, right in front of him, and it looks like there's a ton of debris right here, I'm thinking it's this one. And if you look at this one right here, you can see the spouts coming down. So I actually think he might be looking at a window and the spout's right next to him. So I'm thinking he's right here. Did the guy pass away from the tornado? I think it's actually pretty likely, because if you look at the buildings that, I mean, in the path, he was totally in the path of destruction. If you think about where it was filmed, the building in front of it collapsing, the wall coming down, we only see damage from buildings that were completely or really severely destroyed. And I think that could, I mean, he clearly was in a dangerous spot. We know that for a fact. So it's very likely that he might have passed away, unfortunately. The Vince Rubert name, I don't know if that's his actual name or what, because I can't find anything in terms of newspapers or whatever about Vince Rubert. FindAGrave.com had nothing. And then I went back to that comment that I had read earlier. And she said, to this day, you can still find some of the foundations of the apartments that were leveled by the tornado. Immediately, I'm hopping on Google Earth trying to find remnants of this. Now, before I did that, I wanted to figure out exactly, what buildings were destroyed. So I went online and I found this website, the Georgia Aerial Photography Database. Go check it out if you want to look at it. But anyway, I clicked on Houston County, and then obviously we have several years here, but I went to 1949. So let's go to 1949 real quick. And you can find the base pretty easily by looking for the airstrip. So up here we have the airstrip, we click, and then boom. Okay, so we zoom in, we zoom in a little bit, and then you see this right here, this little section. These are the Ziegler apartments in 1949, and they're all very compact and close together, and they look kind of like trailers. If we compare it to this photo, you can kind of clearly see that it's the same. These are the same apartments. Okay, so we're gonna go back, and we're gonna now go to 1955, 2 years after the tornado. So this is the building right here that he filmed from, and these are the destroyed remnants of the Ziegler apartments. So, for example, if we go back to our photo, you can tell that these two survived, these two right here, and then these two were destroyed, which are these two right up here. And there's some destroyed buildings right here, which are these right here. Okay, so if we move this to 1966, you can see that they started building a new building right here, and they just left these empty, and some of these still remain. But the building that we'd be looking at is this one right here. And then we go a little bit further, and here's 1994. So obviously things have changed a lot. And then today, or in 2012, this is now an elementary school, which, I mean, think about it. You go back to this and 1955, and these are destroyed. I mean, people died here. And then you go to today, and they have an elementary school. I don't know, kind of weird. But this is completely different. This is a whole new neighborhood. And as you can see, there's still some remnants from the old Ziegler apartments right here. But these weren't destroyed in the tornado. These were just destroyed by some dudes later. But here is today, and he would have been filming, if we go back and we look, about right here, which corresponds to, about right here today. So remnants. Well, one particular remnant that I think could be a remnant is this road right here going through that got, all these were destroyed, so this road didn't really have a purpose anymore. And then we go in right here. It does kind of look like this little tarmac might be a piece of the road that went through here at one time. Now it's an elementary school, like I said. And then over here, this pad right here is pretty interesting because to me, it kind of looks like it could be this pad right here. So it's possible that this could be an old remnant from the 1953 tornado, which would be a 70-year-old remnant. I don't know for sure. Let me know what you think. To me, this is the stuff that just, I don't know, it blows my mind. Is it remains? We do not know exactly, but I'm just going to say this. So there you have it.
Let's see the difference
some
in this.
70-year-old tornado remnants. Very interesting. They did end up tearing out this remnant, and they put in like a road. So
Wow,
you can't
you
go there today
definitely
to look at
see
it.
the difference.
I'm sure if you went out in the woods, though, you might find some concrete or something. I don't know. I live far away from Georgia, so I'm not going to go look. But yeah, I know that today's video was pretty random, but this was just something I was interested in, and I like making videos I'm interested in. So if you thought it was interesting, go ahead and hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to see more.
Move like an
videos.
NPC.
But yeah, thanks for watching.
What the hell? Yeah, a good strat to get resources for my buildings is actually I can just build a settlement like sanctuary, build up and put a bunch of purifiers all around this bay right here, and then get a bunch of clerics. Is this a culvert? It is a culvert, actually a very good shelter area, but unfortunately it didn't look like they got this garden. Aw, the cat. Is its tongue sticking out? What the hell? Oh, this is Quincy. We're gonna mow every one of these bitches down. Come on.
Heads up. Take anything good.
Oh shit, they got the BOS vertibird. Baker's dead. Aw, shit, reload. And what you gonna do, little bitch? I love that sound. You steroid shit. Oh,
Go there.
sorry there. Oh, nade. Oh, my leg, my arm.
Alive. Get that. Pick that up.
Oh, asshole, really?
Go check that out.
Well, not the gourd, the...
Check it out. Take a look. Go go check it out. Take a look. See if he had anything worth taking.
Holy shit, Baker is...
Heads up. Hey, get that rifle. Take that weapon. Look alive. Grab anything useful. Check it out. See if there's anything there. Take anything good. Look alive. See if she had anything.
Oh shit, what is this again? I know it's a power fist. Quadruple durability.
Grab that. Get that. Pick that up. Take that.
DC guard helmet.
See if she had anything. Grab anything useful. Check it out. See if there's anything there.
No effing way, I found a freaking fusion core. It is so random. I just pushed him over and out of the cart. The way he slid down.
Hey, get that pistol.
Mega nope. Oh shit, this guy has fusion cores. Yes. Yes, I need these. Thank you. Run that ass, boy. There's like another one that spawns down here. Oh.
There. Go check that body. Hey. See if he had anything worth taking. Take anything good. Grab that. Get that. Pick that up. Take that.
That is such a nice, you know, tower, because at least now I know where I'm at, right? This is a good base. Connect it, now it's connected to my network. I can go around this area and start cleaning it up. Because not only are the enemies here tough and provide a fun fight, they actually can provide me some pretty good XP.
Heads up.
Oh, mini nukes and...
That could change your life, and maybe the whole Commonwealth. We call ourselves the Pillars of the Community. We're a pretty new movement, so you may not have heard of us. But we're growing fast all across the Commonwealth, and you can be part of this exciting future. Step right this way, and I'll be happy to tell you all about our movement and how you can be a part of it.
I'm looking for Imogene Cabot.
Oh, I'm sorry, but Imogene is indisposed right now.
I love vertebrate pilots. How drunk they
I'm
are.
sorry, but Imogene is indisposed right now.
I love the pieces like the sound they make when they all clatter the ground.
looking for Imogene, Captain.
Oh, I'm sorry, but Imogene is indisposed right now.
Ad Victorium! Some copper. Scorch Plague is disgusting.
Peacock is the exclusive streaming home of
That was a good movie. I enjoyed Oppenheimer.
Academy Awards, including Best Picture. President is
It was a pretty good movie.
The bombs have fallen and you find yourself still alive. Better yet, in your estimates, the mountainous Appalachian region isn't all that worse for wear. You've heard through the grapevine that places like DC and Los Angeles got hit much harder. You're thankful. But as society is on the cusp of rebuilding itself back up, a howling screech echoes across the land, and a monstrous winged beast soars through the sky. As it flies above you, it excretes some greenish particulate from its wings. As it makes contact with your skin, you begin the slow and painful process of becoming scorched. Welcome to 1000 Ways to Die in the Wastes. This is the series where we discuss in visceral PG-13 detail just how brutal the wasteland can be, even if the video games don't do it justice. In this episode, we'll be going over the Scorched Plague's origins, its painful transformation process, and how it was eventually overcome. Without further ado, let's get into it. The origins of the Scorched
I have to go, guys. I'm gonna get up early because I have to build a project.
trace back to a sinister plot orchestrated by Thomas Eckert, the self-proclaimed president of the White Spring Enclave. Eckert was the U.S. government's former Secretary of Agriculture. Unbeknownst to many, he was also a member of the shadow government, the Enclave. When the Great War began and the air raid sirens blared, Eckert made his way to the secret